Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Welcome to 1945. 1945 after May 9th, after the Germans surrendered unconditionally. Why is it again May 1945? Is because again the Americans and the Russians this time are dividing the world between themselves. With one little miscalculation, I think, coming from the Americans. That is, they think that the Russians will drop the Chinese. It ain't gonna happen. So what's going on? If you remember, they all fought Hitler because Hitler wanted to take over the world. And after Hitler was defeated, there were two countries who took over the world. So, I guess instead of having this master, we have these two masters. So the same thing seems to be happening right now. So what's going on? It's about the rare earth metals or minerals, how you want to call them. You know, the Americans are going to take the Ukrainians' rare earth minerals. They are about to make a deal with the Russians on the same subject. That is, the Russians will tell the Americans, well, you failed. You have to negotiate the minerals or the metals with us. You can't just take them. Nice try in Ukraine. Now you have to discuss. And they are discussing. That's the first topic. And that's the second. So the negotiations between the Americans and the Russians you're going to give us, we're industrialized, we need your resources, you're going to give us the resources, we're going to leave you alone, and we'll deal with China later. The Russians will never drop China. They can't have an enemy in the back and one in the front. Alright, so that's the first topic. The second topic, Trump threatens everybody. But I'm going to show you how the Ukrainian baboons are portraying Trump when Trump threatens the Russians and when Trump threatens everybody else with tariffs. Now that's Trump's way of negotiation. I said in a video earlier today that this guy is not negotiating. This guy is blackmailing, and he calls that negotiating. That is, you sell your product that you don't want to sell to my price, the one that I want. If not, I'm going to smack you in the face. Oh, you don't want to negotiate? See? He doesn't want to negotiate. I'm going to smack him in the face. Boom! That's Trump's negotiating style, the art of the deal. All right, let's start with the first topic. And this is coming from Ukrainska Pravda, and this is from Monday, the 31st of March, 2025. Russia and United States negotiate joint projects on rare earth metals extraction. Okay, this is a guy who was educated at Harvard, if I remember correctly. Dmitriev or something like this. Dmitriev, right here. Dmitriev. Russian presidential envoy for international cooperation, Kirill Dmitriev, has announced the beginning of Russia-US talks on joint projects to extract rare earth metals. Dmitriev interviewed with the Russian propaganda outlet Izvestia. Dmitriev, who is also the head of the Russian Direct Investment Fund, RDIF, stated that the talks between Moscow and Washington concern rare earth metals, which he described as an important area of cooperation between the two countries, like 1945. He emphasized that the discussions are not limited to the metals, but also include other projects in Russia. So, we're going to give you the resources that you need in order to have an industrialized country, which right now is a post-industrial, post-service country in the economy, whatever that is. Service. You provide services to one another. You know, that's what we do right now, right? And they say, no, we're going to have it industrialized, but we need raw materials. And we're not going to use ours. We're going to deplete your raw materials. And when you run out of them, we're going to use ours and we're going to f everybody up. Hoorah! That's how it seems to be. So, this was, they were going to get the resources. We're going to industrialize and we're going to give you some technology in exchange. That's what's going to happen with Russia. We'll see how tight they can hold this under control. I'm talking about the Russians. All right, let's keep going here. He emphasized that the discussions are not limited to metals, but also include other projects. Rare earth metals are an important area for cooperation, and we have certainly begun discussions on various rare earth metals and projects in Russia, Dmitriev said. Got it? All right, next. New Voice of Ukraine. Remember, the first one was coming from the Ukrainians, Ukrainska Pravda. Second one, again, New Voice of Ukraine. So this is again from the Ukrainians. Russia and United States yet to sign rare earth metals agreement, Kremlin says. Right here, they didn't say they signed anything. They said they're negotiating. So that's true. That's true. Peskov, look at him. His mustache. Porn mustache, or how is that called? Porn stash. Okay, Moscow and Washington have not signed any agreements concerning the extraction of Russian rare earth metals. Not yet. Peskov said on March 31st, according to a statement reported by the state-controlled news agency RIA Novosti. And I'm quoting, Russia and the US have not signed any documents on joint projects related to rare earth metals. Peskov said some American companies have expressed interest in a related project in Russia, he added. Previously, Kirill Dmitriev, the special representative for Russian President Vladimir Putin on investment and economic cooperation with foreign countries, stated that discussions between the United States of America and Russia on joint rare earth metals projects had begun. Discussions, nothing signed. Dmitriev was appointed to his role in February. Okay, what the Russians are saying, let's see. Sputnik, what rare earth does Russia have and where are they riches located? Where are these riches located? So let's see where these guys are located, right? And again, these guys report exactly what the first article reported right here. And that is, Russian officials have already kicked off discussions with the US on cooperation. Okay, endowed with 658, what is this? MLN. Oh, million ton. I don't know what MLN is. Million tons, I would say. That's a million tons of rare metals, including up to 28.7 million tons of rare. Okay, let's see what MLN is, because I don't think it's million, but let's see. All right, here is what I found. It's Merrill Lynch Company. No, I think it's million abbreviation. I think that's what it is. But nevertheless, they use something looking for. World's authority, what that means, stands for various, depending on business education. I think it's million, but anyway, let's go back to, what the hell, let's go here. What does that mean? Million, million, nothing. All right, we take it as million. Anyway, crucial, renewable and defense, Russian mineral riches account to 20% or more of the world's rare earth stockpile, and thought to be second inside only to China. Opa! So that means these guys, China and Russia, are having them a big time. Russia's rare earths are largely untapped and underdeveloped, and scattered at major deposits across the country, from the Arctic and Siberia to new regions like the Donbass. All right, so they tell us what they have them and where they have them. Peninsula, Kola Peninsula, Ilmensky Mountains. Well, I'm not going to go over this because the point is this. The Russians have them and the Americans want them. So come and get them, but we're going to negotiate. But let me show you how Trump negotiates. Right there. New Voice of Ukraine, and Ukrainians are celebrating. Why? Because as baboons as they are here, they think that they're not going to be affected. They will just lose their minerals, but hey, they celebrate that Trump fumes at Putin, threatens 50% of oil tariffs over Ukraine, stalemate. All right, so these guys are celebrating that. But then in the next article, coming from the Ukrainians again, right there, New Voice of Ukraine. Countdown begins. Trump threatens global tariffs. Targets all countries. So there you go. This is the art of the deal. Threatens everybody left and right. Now, obviously, if you're in America, you should celebrate that, saying, oh, now we're going to get your stuff. And you're going to say, shit, this guy is after everything. So what are you going to do? You're going to pay out. That's what you're going to do. Except Russia, probably China, India, country that can slap, or North Korea or Iran maybe, country that can really hurt or hit back, independent countries. In Israel, we don't talk about that. That's, the head office of the United States of America. So in this case, this is Trump. What was that? Targets all countries. Well, good. Bring it on. Maybe it's not going to be, maybe United States of America is the new Jerusalem. And not the Jerusalem is going to be the new Jerusalem. So bring all the fat that you got, if you know what I mean, not the whale, the land whales, but the fat, the milk, and the honey, like in the Bible, in the Old Testament. And we're going to collect it from the kings of the nations. It's in your Bible. Anyway, let's go back to this one. So the Russians and the Americans are gonna have a deal. Why? Economic wars, my friends. They tried to take it, snatch it through Ukraine war. They failed, they lost, and they say, okay, let's talk about it. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's negotiate. And I think they will try to somehow break Russia out of its alliance with North Korea, with China, with Iran. I don't think it's going to work. And the BRICS countries as well. It's not going to work because that is Russia's rain check. That is their defense. Based on that, because Russia alone, without China and India and these countries that helped them during the 3 years war, buying their oil and gas and providing them with services, with other stuff, the Russians could have collapsed. So the Russians owe these guys for buying their shit, their resources. And they did not kneel in front of targets all countries guy. United States of America. So here is, my friends, the redistribution or carving the spheres of influence. But the Russians won. Why? Because they're treated as an equal. I know Trump is huffing and puffing and pretending he's going to impose this and impose that. You're trying to destroy these guys for 4 years already, at least. And 3 years, let's put it 3 years. And you didn't. What do you think you have? Nothing. You have the same baboons that you're going to threaten the Russians with, which is your business, man. You failed for 3 years. What do you think you have? You can't impose more sanctions. You're going to impose tariffs on Russian oil. Why? Unless the Indians and the Chinese will not buy oil, you're zero actually. What are you going to do? So you have to somehow have the Indians and the Chinese stop buying the Russian gas, oil, and the resources. And I don't think they will stop because they know that once they stop, that means you are their boss. And that's exactly what they don't want. They don't want you, right, let me show you, right? They don't want you to be their boss. They want to be kind of like independent, sovereign, So, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.